It's a Friday evening in late September, the kind that feels like the start of a quiet weekend. The Cascade Mall in Burlington, Washington, is alive with the sounds of small-town life. Music drifts from department store speakers. The scent of fresh pretzels and coffee wafts through the food court. Families linger in storefronts. Teenagers laugh as they compare outfits, and older couples walk at an unhurried pace. But somewhere among the crowd is a man whose evening will not end with shopping bags or dinner plans. He is carrying a plan, cold and deliberate in his mind, and within minutes, the mall will transform from a place of routine to a scene of panic and loss. In less than 2 minutes of violence, 5 people will be gone, hundreds will run for their lives, and a community will be left to grapple with a nightmare they never imagined could happen here. This is the story of the Cascade Mall shooting. The date is September 23, 2016. The early evening sun casts a warm glow across the parking lot of the Cascade Mall. Burlington is not the kind of place where people expect danger to find them. It's a town of fewer than 9,000 people, where the mall serves as a social hub. Inside Macy's, the bright lights glint off glass perfume bottles and polished counters. Customers browse quietly, trying on scarves, flipping through racks of dresses. In the juniors section, a teenager holds a hanger up to herself, checking the mirror. Near the cosmetics counter, a woman arranges lipsticks into neat rows, chatting with a coworker. Nothing hints that danger is moments away. At 6:58 p.m., sharp cracks echo through the store. For a moment, some think it's something dropped. A display tipping over, a large object hitting the floor. But the sound repeats. And then it repeats again. One shopper freezes in place. Another instinctively ducks behind a rack of coats. Someone screams. A voice will later be remembered from those first seconds. There's people wounded, on the floor. The first 911 calls hit dispatch within moments. A woman's voice trembles. There's a shooting at the Macy's in the mall. People are down. I saw him inside. The operator's calm voice tries to steady her, asking where she is, whether she can see the suspect, but fear floods every word. Burlington police officers are already moving before the call is finished. Skagit County deputies, Washington State Patrol troopers, and officers from surrounding towns rush toward the scene. More than 200 law enforcement personnel from 27 agencies will ultimately respond. The parking lot floods with flashing red and blue lights. Officers pull rifles and shotguns from their vehicles, loading magazines, strapping on ballistic vests. The radio crackles with updates. 2 victims down, bleeding in the makeup section. 1 more victim near the dressing rooms. Need more units inside to help clear the building. We're finding more victims. Inside, the transformation is instant. Shoppers who were browsing moments ago are now huddled in fitting rooms, crouched behind counters or sprinting toward exits. The warm, everyday noise of the mall has been replaced with shouts, hurried footsteps, and the metallic clatter of security gates slamming shut. Officers move in teams, clearing each store in methodical sweeps. They shout commands. Police, come out with your hands up, to anyone they suspect might be hiding. They check behind every register counter, every storage room door. But with each sweep, it becomes clearer. The gunman is gone. On a cosmetics counter, they find the weapon, a Ruger 10/22 semi-automatic rifle, left behind. Around it, the scene is grim. Victims lie still on the floor. The quiet order of the department store has been replaced with chaos and tragedy. The 5 who will never go home are Shayla Martin, 52, a Macy's makeup artist loved by coworkers and customers alike. Wilton Chuck Eagan, 61, a Boeing maintenance worker who had been shopping with his wife. Beatrice Dotson, 95, and her daughter Belinda Dotson, 64, who worked as a probation officer. Saraya Lada, 16, a high school student and cancer survivor. For the officers who find them, the image will never fade. Outside, yellow tape marks a hard boundary between safety and the unknown. Survivors are escorted out in small, frightened groups. Many are pale, trembling, wrapped in blankets. They are loaded onto buses bound for His Place Community Church, the designated reunification site. Families crowd the entrance there, scanning every face that steps off. The lucky ones embrace loved ones in tears. Others stand alone, their expressions tightening with each bus that arrives without the person they're waiting for. Overnight, dispatchers handle over 675 calls. Many are from people still hiding inside the mall, whispering urgently into their phones. Others are desperate relatives begging for news. By midnight, investigators have their first major break: security footage from Macy's. The video shows a young man in dark clothing walking into the store, rifle in hand. His movements are deliberate. He doesn't run. He doesn't speak. He simply moves from target to target. Witnesses add another crucial detail. The shooter arrived in a blue four-door sedan with a large dent in the side. The still image from the security video is released to the public before dawn. The next day, the tip line is overwhelmed. More than 300 leads come in, most going nowhere, until a few mention the same name, Arcan Cetin. A caller says, "That looks like my stepson's stepbrother." Another says, "I saw the suspect's photo on Facebook. I think I know him." Detectives run his name, 20 years old, born in Adana, Turkey, moved to the U.S. at age 6, lives in Oak Harbor. Detectives visit his mother, Beatrice. They tell her why they're there. "We believe your son is responsible for the shooting last night," one says. Her face drains of color. "Oh my God, I can't believe that." They show her the photo from Macy's. She confirms instantly, "That's him." Her husband, David, a retired Navy serviceman, is shown the rifle recovered from the scene. He recognizes it immediately. "That's my rifle," he says. Arcan knew where it was stored and had fired it before. David also confirms that Arcan had been driving his wife's 2005 Chevy Cavalier the night before, blue, with dents in both back doors. For nearly a full day after the shooting, Arcan moves through public spaces unnoticed. Surveillance footage captures him at a convenience store buying snacks, the cashier oblivious to who he is. The next day, he's seen at the Seattle Space Needle, eating lunch among tourists. Back in Oak Harbor, police set up outside his apartment. On the evening of September 24th, he returns. Officers close in and arrest him without incident. At first, Arcan is a wall of deflection. "I don't know," he says again and again. Sometimes he smirks. Sometimes he stares at the floor. Gradually, details surface. Macy's was not his first choice. He had planned to attack a movie theater, even buying a ticket to Snowden and propping open a side exit with his phone so he could return armed. A man found the phone and turned it in, a simple action that likely saved dozens of lives. Frustrated, Arcan wandered the mall. He walked into a Chuck E. Cheese, saw it full of children, and left. Eventually, he went to his car, retrieved the rifle, and entered Macy's. His description of the killings is cold. He shot a teenage girl in the juniors section. An older man nearby said, "I'm sorry," before being shot as well. 3 women hiding together were next. When asked why, he first claims terrorism, saying he was inspired by an Al-Qaeda magazine. Weeks later, he admits the truth. He was angry at life, buried in bills, and wanted the rush. "It was exciting," he says. "There's a rush, pulling the gun out of the trunk. That's when it starts." Investigators uncover a disturbing history. Diagnosed with ADHD, possible autism, depression, and PTSD, Arcan also had a record of domestic violence, including assaults on his parents and ex-girlfriend. In high school, he was arrested for sexually motivated assault after groping 2 female students. Former partners describe him as controlling, violent toward women, and fascinated by mass killings. He had been blocked by 56 women on Facebook. One ex recalls him saying he could commit a mass shooting because, "I have everything for it." Arcan is charged with 5 counts of aggravated first-degree murder. But before trial on April 16, 2017, he is found dead in his jail cell, an apparent suicide. In notes, he writes, "Killing people is fun. I have no regret." He lists notorious killers like their idols. The Burlington community mourns. A memorial grows outside Cascade Mall. Shayla Martin's daughter creates a scholarship in her mother's name. In 2024, the mall reopens after pandemic closure as Burlington Gallery. But for those who remember, the air inside will always carry the weight of that September night.